Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Jerry. We got Lisa in the house, moms, aka Catherine, Natalie, Carmen, Karen. Nice to see you again. Benji, welcome back. Dustin, welcome back. Bendy, what's up? And what's up, Facebook Live. So we are filming on Facebook Live. I just finished a beautiful, beautiful walk in meditation in Terry Herschel Park, and it just really just re-energized me. So like I'm super hyped today, that's why. So before we get started, let me start by introducing myself to those who have not met me before we get in this wonderful presentation tonight on how to stop self-sabotage. So again, my name is Ebony Townsend. I'm the organizer of this group, Spiritual Beings Having a Human Experience, as well as the founder of Heality, Mind, Body, and Soul, which is a holistic healing center located here in Houston, Texas. And the reason that I started this group, Spiritual Beings Having a Human Experience, is because I actually went through my initial spiritual awakening back in 2006 after watching the film called The Secret. And that's really where I was introduced to the law of attraction and how our thoughts become things and so on and so forth. And at that time, I was reading a lot of spiritual books, a lot of personal development books. I was following a lot of spiritual gurus, so on and so forth. And I was really working on like reprogramming my subconscious mind to shift my reality, which did happen, by the way. So after a few years of that, then I went through what they call the dark night of the soul. And that's a phase during the spiritual awakening process where pretty much I like to describe it as all hell breaks loose. But it happens for a reason because there are many lessons that need to be learned. Now, not everyone goes through the dark night of the soul, but some do. And sometimes it may last for, a month, months, years, just depends on what your soul has to learn. And so my dark night of the soul lasted for 8 years. And then I had a reawakening. And when I had a reawakening, pretty much at that point, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, going through the same patterns in life, self-sabotaging, toxic relationships with people that look different, but same behaviors, so on and so forth. And so when I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, I just pretty much just knew that I had to do some deep inner healing. And once I did that deep inner healing, like my reality and everything around it shifted very, very quickly. Okay. And so I formed this group so I can share many of the tools and resources and people that have helped me along the way. And then not only that, but to learn from you all, because each and every one of us are in our different stages of the spiritual awakening process. So with the group Spiritual Beings Having a Human Experience, we talk about everything from physical health to mental health to emotional health to spiritual health, because in order to have a balanced life, all of these things are very, very important. And also, this is a no judgment group. We don't practice any particular religious belief or anything like that. Everyone is free to be themselves in this group and express themselves accordingly. So that's a little bit about me. I want to say thank you all for just joining tonight. Sharing your energy as well as your time with me. So for the people who are participating on the actual Zoom meeting, as I go throughout the presentation, this is going to be interactive. If you want to share a story, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to either, raise your hand or say, hey, Ebony, I have a question, yada, yada, yada. If you are a little shy, you can chat in or type it in the chat box and I'll check the questions at the end. For those of you all who are viewing this on Facebook Live, you can go ahead and ask your question or leave a comment in the comment section. And then at the end, I will go over that. All right. Any questions for me so far? All right. So who's ready to learn about how to stop self-sabotaging? Whew. All right. So self-sabotaging. I know I was doing a lot of that in my life, a lot of it. And the thing is when it comes to self-sabotage, a lot of times we don't even realize that we are sabotaging our own selves. Okay. I don't think anyone wakes up in the morning and say, today, you know what? I think I'm going to spend some time today sabotaging everything that occurs in my life today. Has anyone ever said that? to themselves, like intentionally said, I'm going to sabotage this? Okay, so what happens is a lot of times we self-sabotage at a subconscious level because there's something going on within us that energetically we're preventing ourselves from living our dreams. Okay, and a lot of times we are our own worst critics. We are the ones who get in our own way. I know I was in my own way for many, many years. And once I actually worked on the deep inner healing, now I'm not subconsciously self-sabotaging things in my life, and things are flowing just easily and effortlessly, but it did take some work to get there. And that's what I want to share with you all today. So basically, what is self-sabotage? Anyone want to give a stab at it? Anyone want to give their definition of what self-sabotage is? Don't be shy.
Probably probably like dwelling in the negative emotions, like having those repetitive thoughts, like I'm not enough, I can't do this, things like that. I definitely experience that in my professional standpoint, currently going through it. So yeah, something like that. Like, and I think a lot of the time people aren't even aware that they're doing it. And so I think a lot of self-sabotage, it's just completely unconscious.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for sharing, Dustin. So yes, negative thought patterns. A lot of times we tend to talk bad about ourselves and not even really aware of the thoughts that how we're speaking to ourselves. And as we say these things over and over about ourselves, and of course, we can attract the energy in our life of abundance and prosperity and love and money and all these different things. So yes, definitely true. Anyone else want to share what their definition is of self-sabotage? Or an experience of maybe self-sabotage?
I'll kind of piggyback off of what Dustin just said.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the negative thoughts and feelings that you have, but then you create that reality for yourself.
Yes.
And so, yeah, when you continue to indulge yourself in those negative thoughts, then that becomes your reality.
Exactly. So whatever we're speaking to ourselves, and especially speaking with emotion, speaking with feeling, that is energy. Okay, everything is energy. And so when we're speaking these things and we're speaking with such passion, then guess what? We're attracting that in our life. So thank you for sharing, Benji. Anyone else? Carmen?
Yeah, it's not eating like I should and getting enough rest like I know I should.
That's self-care. Okay, so taking care of yourself is important as well. So if you're not taking care of yourself, then of course we're self-sabotaging. All right, so thank you for sharing, Carmen. So those are great definitions of why we self-sabotage. So basically any behavior or any thought that holds you back from reaching your full potential. Okay, that's textbook definition of self-sabotage. So you all know with me, I go deeper, okay, on more spiritual reasons, because a lot of the disconnect or dis-ease or disorder that we have in our life is due to some type of energetic imbalances, something that we're holding on to, so on and so forth. So I like to get deeper to the root cause of why we self-sabotage. So basically, whenever we are self-sabotaging, it's because we have a very weak will. Okay, so we have an energetic field. Everyone has everything is made of energy. Okay, if you look at it at an atomical level, everything has atoms and so on and so forth. And so we have energy fields. So if our energy field is weak and we have weak will, then of course we would find ourselves self-sabotaging. So what happens is whenever you have a weak will, it prevents you from making the change that you know you need to make in your life. Okay, I'm going to exercise tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, I'll exercise tomorrow. I'm going to eat right today. I'm going to meditate today. I'm going to do this. I'm going to apply for jobs today. I'm going to start my business today. And if your will isn't strong, then basically you aren't able to take the necessary changes that it takes to make that change in your life. Okay, does that make sense? All right, any questions for me? All right, so we're in some interesting times. Okay, we're in some very, very interesting times that we haven't experienced in the whole history of humanity. Okay, so there are some energetically, there are some very powerful, powerful frequencies that are up on us. How many people can feel it, sense it, know it? Okay, pretty much a huge shift was in 2020. Okay, we're all aware. The world was changed, okay, very drastically, and these energies that are upon us, they're very, very intense energies, but actually more higher vibrational energies. So if you just look around in the world looks a lot different than it did 10 years ago, right? Can we agree with that? 20 years ago, the world looks a lot, 5 years ago, the world looks a lot different than it looks now. There are more advances in technology, there's more advances in science, people are more open-minded about different possibilities, whereas maybe a decade or two ago, you know, the collective was more rigid in ideas and stuff like that, and now things are becoming more fluid and so on and so forth. And of course, there's an adjustment phase with that, but all of this is occurring because collectively the vibration of the planet, well, the vibration of the planet is raising. And because we are all beings that live on a planet, guess what? We're being affected by these energies as well. Okay, so that's why there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. This is kind of like I call it the dark night of the soul for the collective. Okay, so with these energies that are upon us, they're high vibrational frequency or high frequency energies, high vibrational energies. Okay, and everyone is feeling these energies. Now, here's the thing: these energies are affecting every single person. Okay, whether you're short, tall, live in this part of the world, so on and so forth. Now, the thing is how the person individually adjusts with or to the energies. Okay, you can either go with it or you can fight it. Okay, so there are people that's resisting. There's people on the planet, and again, there's no judgment there. There's no judgment. Everyone is exactly where they, you know, need to and should be. But there are people who are clinging on to old ways and old systems and old belief systems and old things, and fear and hate and anger and judgment and so on and so forth. Okay, and then you have people who are like, okay, well, you know, I just got to shift with it, move with it, you know, go with the flow of things. So the person who is still hanging on to old ways, who's living in fear, who's living in anger, who's living in judgment, so on and so forth, when it comes to self-sabotage, it's going to be even more intense for people who is in that vibrational state. Okay, so as these frequencies come to us, we just had another big hit of frequencies on the planet on October 10th, and there's more to come. The best thing to do during this time is to be more in the flow. Okay, be more in the flow. Work on being the highest version of yourself. Accept change. Face your fears. Build your willpower. Okay, this is the time to do all of these things. Trust me on this. Okay, because the more you fight it, the more challenging it'll become. All right, any questions? Lisa. Oh, we can't hear you.
No, I'm sorry. You mentioned that there was some type of vibrational change October 10th. Can you elaborate on that?
So there was a 1010 portal. Okay, so basically periodic times throughout, you know, the year, there's energetic portals that open where high vibrational energy is actually kind of like charged. I like to use the word charged to the planet. Okay, so on October 10th, that was a 1010 portal. So some more about high vibrational frequency energy was actually sent to the planet. Would anyone like to elaborate on that or add to that? Natalie, Carmen, I know Natalie was big on the 1010 portal.
Yeah, a lot of shifting, a lot of as Ebony says, if you open yourself up to new ideas. Like I was speaking to someone today, and we just started talking, and it just came out of my mouth. I said, you know, long gone are the days of self-sacrifice and martyrdom, where you had to sacrifice yourself to help other people. And now we're shifting, and 10-10-10, I think, had a big part in that, where people are awakening now and becoming aware. Being self-sacrificing and a martyr is self-sabotaging, because you're not being whole. You're helping other people be whole, but you can only help them so much if you're not whole. And I think 10-10-10 brought in a more of a balance to that. That was my experience.
Yes, yes. So very, very powerful energies. There's more portals that's going to be open. There's going to be higher vibrational energy that's amongst us. Okay. Mother Earth says, hey, it's time to ascend. Okay. And we live on planet Earth. So guess what? We got to go up, or it's going to be tough. You know, everyone's going to get there. Okay. Everyone will eventually ascend and evolve and know thyself and things of that nature. But it may be in different stages. Maybe in this lifetime, may not be in this lifetime. It just, you know, but each and every one of us are on our journey. And so right now, with all of these different energies and change that's going on, we have to roll with it, meditate, okay? Incorporate a meditation practice in your life. Trust me, it's going to help you with the energies that's going on in this planet. Stay calm, stay centered. Okay, get in nature, you know, get out of the cities for a little bit, and Wi-Fi and zap the Bluetooth rays and traffics and honks and sirens. Get into nature and just get into that Zen space. So let's talk about some spiritual reasons of why people may self-sabotage. So does anyone have any or would like to share why they feel? Well, we kind of talked about that, huh? But even go deeper. Okay, like what are some things within us that may need to be worked on that will prevent us from self-sabotaging? Lisa?
Now, I was going to say, for me, I know one of my triggers is guilt. I have a very strong guilt complex. I mean, if I snap at someone, I feel guilty about it. So anytime I feel that I'm having some kind of momentum, it's like I'll think of something, and then that guilt complex will come in. So I know that's one of the things I have to really work on.
Okay.
So
yes.
Guilt.
Yes, working on guilt. Someone said in the chat, resentment and unforgiveness. Okay. We hang on to resentment, then we can be self-sabotaging our own selves as well. Would anyone else like to share? Natalie?
And piggybacking on what I just said, I think a lot of people don't recognize their own self-worth and their own divinity. And we've now moved into a time where it's not only permissible, but it's encouraged to live each day with joy. Find something that makes you happy and stay in that space. And the more you stay in that space, the more space you create and you live in that space. And back to, now you can help others and be a more effective healer yourself to others. So
Yeah.
focus on doing things that make you happy. Don't sacrifice your happiness to try and help others, is what I'm saying. Live your happy, even if it's something little a day. Just do that.
Yes, thank you, Natalie, for sharing that. That's so important. Like, we have to do something every single day. I make a point to do something that I enjoy. Okay, it doesn't involve work. It doesn't involve anything. It's something that I want to do. If you riding my bike, it can be watching a funny, comedy. I mean, anything. Just take time for yourselves and really take care of yourself. Okay, so when we self-sabotage, one of the things is there's some unhealed wounds there. Okay, a lot of the just disorder and chaos that goes on in our lives, it really stems to unhealed wounds. So that's why it's so important. It's so important to do that deep inner healing at all costs, because when you do that, that's when you make change, and not temporary change. I'm talking about lasting change. Because when I went through my spiritual awakening initially, I was trying to skip all that. They call that spiritual bypassing. Okay. I was like, I'll just sweep that under the rug. And I want to, kumbaya and read books and do what this person told me to do. Okay. And then I went through the dark night of the soul, which is basically a lesson like, okay, you're bypassing here. You need to heal those unhealed wounds. Okay. And so whenever we heal our wounds, that's when life changes. Okay. Not a temporary change, a huge major change. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't going to be times where we may, fall back here and there, but when you actually heal those deep inner wounds, it's very hard to go back to that space. Okay. Once you've done the work. Another thing is of why we self-sabotage: fear of change. I think a couple weeks ago, I did a discussion on the fear of change and how to overcome the fear of change. So if you go onto the Heality Facebook page and look under events or videos, you'll see that. Go ahead and take a look at that. That was very, very powerful. But we self-sabotage because we're afraid of the unknown. Okay. And that's human condition. Okay. And I'll talk a little bit about that in detail. As far as why we are so afraid of the unknown. And then last but not least, there we go with that weak will again. Okay, so if we don't have a strong will, then we of course will not take the actions that we need to take in life to make the changes that we want to make. Thinking exercise. So exercise, for example, we all know we need to exercise, but having a strong will to do so is what it takes to actually get up and go to the gym and exercise. Okay, and that's just one of many, many examples in life. So in regards to unhealed wounds, basically the wound that is present is feeling unworthy. Okay, feelings of unworthiness. So if you have feelings of unworthiness, then you may intentionally or unintentionally be self-sabotaging yourself. Okay. And why does anyone want to share why they think the feeling of unworthiness correlates to self-sabotage?
It blocks you from receiving.
It blocks you from receiving. Yes. Anyone else want to add?
I'll say something.
Yes, Mom.
I was thinking more of the word that I could refer to myself as using the word as self-love.
Mm-hmm.
If you have no self-love for yourself, then everything you put out is going to be more on the negative side. But you have self-love for yourself, you're more conscious and aware of how you present yourself.
Yes, very true. Very true. Thanks for sharing, Dustin. Thanks for sharing, Catherine, AKA my mother. All right. So when we feel unworthy, we subconsciously pull away from opportunities in our life because we don't feel like we deserve it. Okay. We don't feel worthy of having that dream job or that house or that car or perfect health, better relationships. Okay. And so when you step into that worthiness, then you're like, no, I deserve this. And each and every one of you all on this Zoom call, each and every one of you all who are viewing this on Facebook Live, you all know with absolute certainty that you deserve. We all deserve abundance. We deserve perfect health. We deserve love. We deserve prosperity. We deserve all of these things. It is our birthright. Okay, it's our birthright. And maybe over the years, we've been told otherwise. Okay, but that's false. Those are false belief systems. You deserve the best. Okay, so we have to work on this sense of self. So there are times where a person, let's just say money, for example, a person may be able to make a lot of money, create a lot of money, manifest a lot of money, but if there's a sense of unworthiness in there, guess what? They may find themselves self-sabotaging and losing that money, okay? So just because you get money, okay, just because you get healthy or lose 20 pounds or different things like that, it's easy to go back if that unhealed wound of unworthiness is still there, okay? So we have to heal that unworthiness. And then fear, okay? So fear of change, okay? That's the number one reason that most people self-sabotage. It's just fear of change, okay? Sometimes as humans, we can be creatures of habit, okay? And if anything changed, we're like, whoa, 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 okay? That's the ego saying, look here, Ebony, we haven't tested those waters yet. You know what it is here, okay? Even if you don't like where it is here, we know this is safe for us because we know what's going to happen every single day in our life. But we don't know these untested waters over here, okay? So we have to overcome that fear of change. And not only that, but we also have to overcome the fear of loss, okay? There's two different things, okay? Fear of change, something new, or fear of loss, okay? Fear of losing what you have now, or having, a change in your life and then losing that. So basically, when you have that fear of loss, that's your subconscious mind that's saying that you shouldn't move forward because you may lose it, okay? So I'm going to stay here. So really overcoming our fears. And then last but not least, the weak will. So our will, that's our desire to change, okay? We can say all day long, hey, I want to change. I was doing this for years, yeah, I want to change. I want to do this. I want to do that. But if we don't do anything about it, guess what? It's not going to happen, okay? So once you build up your will, then that's where you're able to take action and make that change. So when we're talking about building up the will, we're going to go energetic with this. There are two particular chakras in particular that we need to strengthen if we want to strengthen our will. Does anyone want to take a stab at them? Two. Going once.
Root chakra.
No, not quite the root chakra. For when it comes to will, self-esteem, confidence, knowing who you are, standing in your power. Does this ring the bell?
Sacral chakra. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sacral chakra. I think that's how you pronounce it. Or
close. One more up. One more up. One more up.
Solar plexus.
Solar plexus. Okay, so your solar plexus chakra sits right above your navel. That is where our will lives. Okay, that's the powerhouse of our will. That's our confidence. That's our self-esteem. That's knowing who we are, which is divine beings who's having a human experience. And when your solar plexus chakra is weak, then of course we don't have will. Okay, we don't have strong boundaries. We don't take action. We don't feel worthy. The list goes on. You see where I'm going with this? So that solar plexus chakra is very, very powerful when it comes to the will. And then there's one other chakra too that you all may or may not have suspected. Does anyone want to take a throw at it?
throat chakra.
Oh, all right. Yes. So the throat chakra. Yes. Why do you say the throat chakra, Lisa?
Because that gives you your voice to the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your voice to the world. And then also another part of our will sits in the throat chakra. So in regards to the chakras, we have many of them, but we tend to focus on the 7 main chakras. So the lower 3 chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, those are our human chakras, our physical body chakras, okay? How comfortable are we being in human form as divine spiritual beings? And then the top 3 chakras, your throat, third eye, and crown, those are our spiritual chakras, okay? Our connection to the divine, our soul. And then guess which chakra has to be open so there's an even flow of energy between our physical selves and our spiritual self?
Heart.
Heart chakra, okay? So with these energies that's on the planet right now, they're blasting open people's heart chakras, okay? And we really have to be heart-centered. And when we have a balance of all 6 of the chakras plus the heart chakras wide open, then that's when we have a balance in life. So our throat chakra is more so responsible for our soul's will, our soul path. What do we really desire? Okay. Most people know what they really desire or what they would like to do in life. The thing is taking the action to do it. Okay. Let's just say a job, for example. Many people are working jobs that they cannot stand. Every single day they get up and go to a job they cannot stand. And their soul knows this is not the job for you at all, in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Okay. But if that will's not strong, that person's not going to take action in order to maybe look for another job. Okay. Learn a new skill. Try something different. And that's just one example, jobs. Okay. So our throat chakra, that's basically our will of our soul. Like, look, this is what you really want to do. Okay. And we all have it. We all have that sense of, I'd really rather do this. Okay. I'd really rather be doing that. We just have to start listening to it. Okay. And trusting and not be afraid of change. Any questions so far? Or would anyone like to add or share? All right. So how do we stop this? How do we stop all this self-sabotaging stuff, right? Okay. First thing is we got to heal. We have to heal those wounds. Okay. Those unhealed wounds, we have to heal them. We cannot get around them. As a matter of fact, that is the first thing that must be done. Okay. Working on deep healing. Okay. So these are some questions. I don't know if you all have a pen or paper, but if you do, this would be some good stuff to write down. So these are some exercises. They're just questions to ask yourself. Okay. And a lot of times when we put stuff on paper, it just creates even more energy. Okay. So first question you want to ask yourself is why? And be honest with yourself. Don't judge yourself. Okay. No, this is a no judgment exercise. Just ask yourself this question. Why do you feel like you're not good enough? And be honest with yourself. Okay. You're the only person that's reading this. No one else is reading this. Why do you feel like you're not good enough? Could be from childhood. Could be because in 8th grade, you were picked last for the kickball team. I mean, it could be anything. Maybe didn't get that job. It can be anything. So ask yourself this question. Why do you feel like you're not good enough? Question number 2, where does it come from? Okay. So those are a little they're similar, but different. So why do you feel unworthy? And then where does it come from? And then third question, when did you first start to feel unworthy? The first that you can remember. It could be something that happened when you're 4 years old. Go back as far as you can go. When was the first time that you felt unworthy? And then the last question, this question is so powerful. What would your life look like if you felt worthy? That's getting the wheels turning. What would your life look like if you felt worthy? Not partially worthy, 100% worthy in all areas of your life, what would your life look like? And what happens is, first of all, in order for us to heal these wounds, we have to be aware, right? Awareness is the first step to healing. Okay, so if we're not aware of it, then of course we can't heal it. So with those 3 questions, the 3 initial questions, it's really bringing stuff into your awareness. Maybe stuff that you've never thought about before, like, man, 2nd grade when, they called me 4 eyes, that's where it came from. I love my glasses, by the way, but just giving an example. Okay, so really it just gets that awareness going. And then when you ask that question, what would your life look like if you felt worthy? Guess what? Now the wheels are starting to turn. You're starting to write down all the great things of what your life will look like. Okay, a deep, meaningful relationship, an abundance of wealth, a beautiful home, deeper spiritual connection. It could be whatever. Okay, there's no limit to this. But energetically, what you're doing as you're writing this, what your life would look like if you felt worthy, you're actually putting that energy out into the universe. And you're creating from that space right there. Okay. Very, very, very powerful. So start writing down what your life would look like if you felt worthy, and don't hold back. Okay. Don't hold back on that. Any questions for me? All right. So lean into that fear, guys and gals. Lean into that fear. Okay. We have to conquer our fear. A few weeks ago, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did a whole discussion on fear of change. I highly recommend that if you did not participate in that one, go ahead and watch it because it was very, very powerful. So let's talk about scientific, okay, speaking of why we fear change. So our brains, are wired to, back in the day, okay, we didn't have to live during these times, but back in the day when our ancestors lived in the forests or the jungles or different things like that, they had to always, as I call it, watch their back, okay, or else you're going to be eaten up by a lion, bitten by a snake, like kind of like that high alert, okay, watching out for everything. So biologically speaking, our brains still have that wiring, okay? So if we want to overcome that fear, what we have to do is we have to lean into the fear, okay? Take a small step, okay? I'm not saying just go and make a big change, but something that you've been fearing to do, okay? And start small, do it. Just do it, like Nike said, okay? And when you do it and you don't die, okay, people ask, but did you die though? Okay, when you do it and life moves on, guess what? Your brain says, this is biology. Oh, that wasn't scary. I thought it was scary, but I thought the world was going to end, but I'm okay. And when you do that, you start to reprogram your brain to realize, hey, I'm not afraid to lean into fear, because when I lean into fear, my head isn't bitten off by a lion. Okay, does that make sense? So start small. One thing I challenge each and every one of you all, something that you've been fearing of doing, public speaking, I don't know, anything, writing a poem, creating a song, whatever it is, lifting 10 more pounds at the gym, do it. Okay, just do it and start training your brain to realize not everything is fear or I have to be scared. Learn to develop the will. Okay, so we talked about the solar plexus chakra as well as the throat chakra. So with the solar plexus chakra, this chakra is more so like you have to really take action. You have to really intentionally work at your solar plexus chakra. You just can't like sit there and say, hey, my solar plexus chakra is healed and open, it's healed and open. You have to actually do stuff, okay? Because this is a very, 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 very powerful, all of them are powerful, but this is a very powerful chakra because when this chakra is open, this is where we know exactly who we are. And we have very clear boundaries and we know what we want and we know what we don't want and so on and so forth. So with the solar plexus chakra, I like to listen to frequency music. So I'm going to give you a frequency to listen to. Go onto YouTube, look this frequency up. There's thousands of them. You don't have to go spend any money, but the frequency to strengthen your solar plexus chakra is 528 hertz. Okay, this is also the miracle tone as well. So not only does it strengthen your solar plexus chakra, but it actually repairs DNA, cleanse your cell. It's a love frequency, so on and so forth. It's one of my favorite frequencies to listen to. So listening to the solfeggio frequency 528 hertz. You can listen to it while you go to sleep. You can listen to it in the background while you're doing housework. It's, to me, the solfeggio frequencies is the easiest way to change your life without having to do anything but press play. Okay, and I know everyone on here has the will to press play, right? Okay, so that's one way. Another way to strengthen your solar plexus chakra is to take steps towards your dream. Okay, baby steps towards your dream. Okay, I know this was very hard for me, very, very hard for me, very hard for me, because I would see the big picture. Well, I want this. And then I get overwhelmed by like, okay, well, I need to do this in order to get here, okay? And then guess what? I don't take any action because now I'm overwhelmed because there's like 1,000 different things that need to be done in order for it to get here, okay? So if you want to strengthen your solar plexus chakra, then take baby steps towards the goal or the dream of yours, okay? So let's just say you want to get a new job, okay? And maybe the job that you want to get is like your dream job, what your soul wants to do, but maybe you don't have any skills in that area, okay? Take a course. Better yet, before you spend your money on taking a course, watch a YouTube video on that particular skill. You see what I'm saying? Start doing something towards that dream, no matter how tiny it is. And then before you know it, you'll be there. You're like, oh, shoot, it's there. Okay. And as you do that and you take action, watch that YouTube video on how to, I don't know, let's just say, I don't use a computer or something like that. Take that step. Okay, how to cook. You know, if you want to cook or be a chef but has no skills whatsoever in the kitchen, you know, watch a few cooking shows on YouTube. Okay, then from there, maybe take a class on cooking. Then start practicing cooking. You see what I'm saying? And then before you know it, you'll be a world-renowned chef. Boom, done. Just like that. Any questions for me before we go into the last one? Throat chakra. So frequency for throat chakra is 741 hertz. So if you want to strengthen your throat chakra, go onto YouTube, look up 741 hertz. Very, very powerful in strengthening your throat chakra. Not only that, but 741 hertz has been proven to clear any type of bacteria or viruses or infection that we have in our body. Feeling a little under the weather, got a cold, flu, anything, listen to 741. So it does clear that up as well. And then also it strengthens your throat chakra. And then the color of the throat chakra is blue, by the way. So other ways that we can strengthen our throat chakra, because everything has energy, is we can eat blue foods, blueberries, and they're good. They're full of antioxidants, okay? I had heard a story of a man, his bedroom was painted blue. Like his entire bedroom was painted in this very blue. And actually his throat chakra became a little bit overactive because like it was like a boom, like in your face blue. These colors are powerful. So use them to your advantage. Very, very powerful. And then also, this is more the medical part of me. Our chakras are actually connected to organs, tissues, muscles, nerves, and everything in our body. Okay, so our throat chakra is actually connected to our muscle here, our neck muscle, the trapezius muscle. Okay, so a lot of people, including myself, carry a lot of weight. I used to carry a lot of weight in my trapezius muscle. Okay, a lot of stress, a lot of everything. When I would go to get massages, they'd be like, oh my gosh, you have a knot the size of a golf ball. And I'm not exaggerating, a knot the size of a golf ball sitting on your shoulder. Okay, so to work that trapezius muscle, what you're doing is you're actually opening up your throat chakra too, because our chakras are connected to our organs. Okay, that's why it's so important to balance our chakras. Because if our chakras aren't balanced, then it can manifest as physical disorder in our body. So turning neck left to right, left to right. I feel a little stiffness there. I need to give me a massage. Or you can do the neck roll. I like doing a neck roll. Okay, and that movement is actually sending energy to your throat chakra. So everybody, let's do this. Let's take about a minute and roll your neck, turn it to the left or right. And as you're doing it, say to yourself or out loud, I am opening up my throat chakra. My throat chakra is wide open. I am opening up my throat chakra. My throat chakra is wide open. Hey, my throat chakra is wide open. Anyone feel any stiffness, tightness there? It's okay if you do. Natalie, show them what you're doing, Natalie. That's another. She's doing the neck stretch. That's another one that we can do to stretch out that trapezius muscle and open up the throat chakra. So great. Roll your head. Left, right. Left, right. Neck stretch. All right. Everyone feel their throat chakra open now? All right, so that's an exercise that you can practice daily. It's practical. It actually feels good. It feels good to the neck. You know, I'm actually probably going to do some more after the presentation tonight, but very, 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 very powerful. So these are some ways that you can get out of your own way. Lean into that fear. Do something small, something that you have been like, I don't know if I want to do that, speak in public, whatever. Start small. Lean into it, do it. Realize you're not gonna die, okay? Retrain your brain to say, oh, that wasn't as scary as I thought it was. And then guess what? You over time, you'll take on more challenges and more, you know, and to the point where it's like, I don't fear anything. Like I don't fear nothing, okay? That's a good space to be in. And when there's no fear, that's when you're creating. You're really creating when you're not in that fear. Benji, did you have your hand up? Benji, do you have your hand up?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, I see a hand there. And you
Oh,
say, whoop, 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 whoop. All right, so lean into that fear. Ask yourself those questions. Get to the root cause of where this unworthiness came from, okay? And then start just writing down what your life would look like if you felt worthy, okay? Very, very powerful, energetic exercise. and then work on building that solar plexus chakra as well as that throat chakra. Okay. And then from there, we're going to stop self-sabotaging, right? And we're going to create the lives that we were meant to live. Okay. We didn't come down here to suffer and live mediocre lives. Okay. I'm telling you all this. If you believe that, get it out your head. We didn't come down here to live mediocre lives. Okay. We came down here. Now we came down here and forgot where that's the challenge too. We came down here to forget who we are, to go through stuff, to remember who we are. Okay. So if you are a human being on this planet, you're powerful. You are super, super powerful, because to do what we're doing right now, spiritual beings, divine spiritual beings who can do any and everything, taking the mission to come to planet Earth in a denser frequency and live in a physical body and forget who we are, to remember who we are, like, we got to be pretty darn awesome to take on this task. I'd say so myself. How many people agree? Okay, so realize that you all are already greatness. We're perfection. Okay, we are perfection, but we chose these challenges. So just remember that this is just, I had to go through these different things to, I forgot who I am, but now I'm remembering who I am, which is divine spiritual beings having a human experience. So I encourage each and every one of you all to start incorporating these various exercises in your life. Okay. I love to hear feedback on how it's helped. Okay. That's my purpose. Okay. Well, after I did the deep inner healing, my purpose was actually like really revealed to me, and I started following that path. And I had, as I was going through my transformational process, I had to do some deep inner healing. I had to face some fears. I had to do some stuff where it was like, I would have never done, but I was like, look, I just have to trust and surrender. And guess what? I didn't die. Okay. I'm still here. All right. So challenge yourself, use these exercises, get out of your own way and start living a life that you deserve to live. Take baby steps towards those goals. Don't think about how it's all going to come together. That was one thing that got me. Just take that class, do little things. Okay. Just do the little stuff. And then they have a compound effect. And before you know, you're like, oh, I'm here. Any questions for me tonight? Let me open up this chat box. See, we got 23 messages. It's active today. Anyone has questions? Someone asks, does eating oat milk, chocolate ice cream count as self-sabotage? I would say you have to go with your intuition. Okay, so we know, if you eat something, I tell people, listen to your body. Okay, if the ice cream is making you feel tired, sluggish, maybe putting on, more pounds than you like, so on and so forth, then stop eating it. But hey, if the ice cream is fine, it's resonating with you, then continue on. And she put a laugh, or he put a laugh. So Dustin was giving us some comedy here. Thank you, Dustin. Someone stated that they're feeling a lot of resentment. They've been more irritated over the past couple months. That is not uncommon during this time where these frequencies are on this planet, okay? These high vibrational frequencies, they're stirring up a lot of emotions in people, okay? A lot of fear, a lot of anger, different things like that. Again, like I said earlier, you got to go with the flow. Don't try to fight it. Acknowledge, awareness is key, and then do something about it, okay? Heal those inner wounds, so important. Someone said they walk 3 miles a day. Okay. And it said, I do need to meditate though. So let me speak about that. Meditation isn't always sitting in Indian style with your fingers like this, okay? Meditation comes in different forms. So a lot of people actually go into a meditative state when they're walking, when they're in nature, when they're jogging, when they're cycling, when they're washing the dishes, so on and so forth. So yes, you're actually meditating when you walk 3 miles. Okay. Someone asked, is this fear passed on? I'm asking because we did not live in our ancestor times. So we are biologically wired. Okay. So a lot of, when it comes to biology, biologically, we still have certain characteristics or qualities from back in the day, even from the beginning. Okay. So the thing is we have to work on changing those things. So we don't necessarily, like, so when I spoke about fear, okay, of course, we don't have lions and well, we're in Texas, we do have rattlesnakes, but I haven't seen any in Houston. But let's just say lions. We don't have to walk out our front door and worry about a lion biting our head off, okay? We know that. But biology is biology. There's still something small in there that's wired that still has that memory, okay? It's basically a memory that has been, you know, just pretty much passed on from generation to generation. It's a biological thing. So a lot of things that we do as human beings is just from biology. Does that make sense? All right. Some of these questions, I'm going to put my email address in the chat box. So if, because a few of the questions are more so I feel are private. So I'm going to put my email address in the chat box here. And so if you want to talk about this one-on-one or work through it, go ahead and shoot me a message, okay? All right, and one last thing, you all, and then we'll end for the night. Let me check Facebook here real quick. Make sure I got all the comments there. Try to keep up. All right, we're good there. Any questions for me? All right, well, thank you. Thank you. Was this beneficial? Did this help, this presentation? Okay, so we've agreed we're going to stop self-sabotaging. We're going to strengthen our will. We're going to lean into that fear. We're going to work on those unhealed wounds. We're going to write 10 pages of stuff. No, 100 pages of stuff of what our life looks like when we are feeling absolutely worthy, when we know that we are divine spiritual beings having a human experience. Write that down, okay? And let's step into our power. Let's get out of our own way, and let's just start living a life that we deserve to live. And it's possible. It's yours. It's already there. Everything's happening now. You're just aligning to it, okay? Thank each and every one of you all for joining me tonight. If this is your first time joining the presentation, I do this every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And every other Monday, I do lead a guided meditation and over various topics to help us. You know, maybe I'll do one on how to get out of our own way and stop self-sabotaging. I think that'll be a very powerful one. But again, my name is Ebony Townsend. It was such a pleasure to meet each and every one of you all tonight and re-meet those who have been with us for a while now. Everyone have a beautiful Wednesday, and I will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Night.
Good night.